After dedicating half of her life to speed skating, this young athlete truly found her forte in roller skating. She started roller skating just before she turned 20 and cannot imagine her life without skating on wheels. Today, she's a unique example of how a person can combine summer roller skates and winter skates. She's also Ukraine's hope in the sport of speed skating at the upcoming 2018 Winter Olympic Games in PyeongChang, Korea. Meet a young girl with a sonorous voice and a musical surname, the #1 Ukrainian roller skater, the latest master speed skater, Anna Muzyka. Zodiac sign, Aries. Eye color, green. Favorite film, The Untouchables. Favorite drink, apple juice. Actor, Keanu Reeves. Favorite animal, cat. Favorite season, summer. Favorite flower, daisy. Anna Muzyka got into this sport because there was nobody who could take her from kindergarten. Her elder brother Alexander, who was involved for a number of years in speed skating at the Kyiv Ice Skating Stadium, took his younger sister with him. I was 6 and there was no one to take me from kindergarten. My brother went to practice at the ice rink and offered me to go with him or to stay at the kindergarten. So I decided to go with him. He took me from kindergarten and started to teach me how to speed skate. I was 6 years old and was still in kindergarten, but my brother and sister offered me the opportunity to take up speed skating, and I've been doing it successfully for 11 years now. Almost the only place for practicing this sport in Ukraine was the rink in the ice stadium. Those guys who fell in love with speed skating did not have any desire to get off the ice rink, especially in winter when it is high season for training. In the Muzyka family, the parents also agreed to fulfill their children's desires in sports and sometimes even allowed them to skip classes in school. Our parents encouraged us. Our parents had a schedule, including school, training, and doing homework for school. Later, we three trained every day. We were always together, and our parents supported us in all possible ways. They never interfered and always supported us. If we were really tired, we came home and told our mother that we were exhausted from training and we were not ready to do our homework, so she allowed us to skip classes the next day. Anna Muzyka didn't show very impressive results in speed skating, so she decided that she would give up sports after graduating from school. I was tired and bored. I had no desire to continue practicing sports, and when I entered the institute for 4 years, my friends asked whether I really did not want to return to sports, and I really didn't want to. I felt the desire when I once came to practice skating. I think I felt reluctance because I didn't attend training sessions. And when I came and saw my fellow sportsmen who had still lived through this, it was like admitting that the life goes on, and you were not there to see that this is truly the way life goes. Meeting with Alexander Simonenko turned Anna's life around. The former speed skating champion and president of the Roller Sport Federation was enthusiastic about the idea of roller skating in Ukraine, despite the fact that speed skating was not progressing. Anna Muzyka was literally fired up by rollers, and despite the fact that she got into the sport at the age of 20, her hard work and sense of purpose earned her the title of #1 in Ukraine. Moreover, roller skating helped her achieve a very high level and even compete for the top spots in speed skating. During our performances in this year's World Student Games, she also confirmed her uniqueness. We took 4th place at the World Student Universiade. If to speak about roller skating, she was basically the leader of our national team, the first roller skating master of Ukraine, winner of the World Cup, the winner and prize winner of many international marathons, and a world-class athlete. So she's truly that individual, which made history in Ukrainian roller skating. Anna is the latest prize winner in speed skating. Being the latest master of sports in Ukraine, she takes no pride in this title. It's not a matter of pride. It is regretful that there is nobody who can pass on their knowledge and skills to the younger generation. It's regrettable that other children cannot engage in this sport the way I did, with the help of my brother. Indeed, they cannot come, watch, fall in love with the skates, the ice, the beautiful Christmas trees, the snow, and all this beauty. Today, Anna Muzyka is vying for a selection in the 2018 Winter Olympic Games in PyeongChang, Korea, in a new discipline of speed skating called mass start. The distance is long, circles. Every 5 circles skated is considered an intermediate finish that is scored. At the finish, all points are summed up. That is the reason that the participant who finishes first is not considered the winner of the competition. Seeing as mass start is a more spectacular discipline, it was added to the Olympic sports because it's different. It requires thinking, but it's impossible to foresee and perform according to a stopwatch, as is usually the case in speed skating. You perform, skate 3 laps, accelerate to 300 meters, and you are a champion. There are no such variants in speed skating and roller skating. You have to pay attention to those who pick up speed and manage to break away from the pack and leave it behind. The selection process for competitors in the Winter Olympics in today's conditions is truly a unique experiment. Training on rollers, competing on skates, and achieving high results are from the world of fiction. Although there is no other way out for Ukrainian speed skating, Anna Muzyka will be faced with the challenge of a brisk change from summer rollers for winter skates. But this does not bother her at all. This is how I remove my rollers and put on skates. In fact, it's a very simple procedure. Many consider roller and speed skating to be different sports, but I don't think so. When our stadium was covered with ice last winter, I skated in the morning and did my rollerblading training in the evening. I certainly agree that the skills are different, but once you have reached a certain level, you understand how much time you need to bind your boots so they fit onto your foot differently and nothing more. During the last Winter Universiade, such an experiment with changing rollers for skates was very successful. Anna Muzyka could have missed the mass start because she had no mandatory protective gear. Her friends from the rivaling Kazakhstan team helped her out. Anna crossed the finish line in 4th place. She was 1 step away from winning a medal. Then it seemed to be quite a feat, and today she regrets that she was not awarded a medal for her feat. We met with Anna, who won gold medal in the CIS championship. Now she is participating at the Summer Universiade in Taipei. It's very offensive. Professionalism breeds a person of illusions. You understand that you can do what you're ready to do here and now. I cannot say what I gave up. The circumstances in that competition were such that I was 1 step away from winning a medal. Anna Muzyka is among favorites in roller sports. Ukraine long struggled for her to be recognized in the roller world. Last year, many rivals are afraid of our athlete. Nobody is now surprised by Anna's high results at the World Cup stages in this sport. I was the 3rd in the team competition. I, with my team member, came in 2nd in the team competition, despite the fact that we defeated the power slide world team. They're as cool as it gets. We came in 2nd in the women's 2nd competition, and I took 3rd place in the individual one. This is the best result we had achieved in the history of Ukrainian roller sports.
Лучшее, что имели, в принципе, мы, украинские роллеры, за всю историю развития.
Our roller skaters, who gave excellent performances on international starts, have goals and ambitions to win the championship titles. Honestly, I want to win the European Championship. Why European? The reason is that they have very beautiful medals decorated with patriotic ribbons with asterisks. This confirms membership of any country in the EU, and it simply gratifies my self-esteem as a citizen of Ukraine, which is a potential EU member.
Евросоюза, и это как-то, возможно, для какого-то личного самоутверждения хотелось бы.
Today, Anna Muzyka is not just an acting roller sports star who tries to show herself in skating, but also a children's coach who shares her rich experience with the upcoming generation. There is such a saying, by teaching others, you teach yourself. Accordingly, when she started coaching, she also progressed because she began to think differently about what she's doing and what she's achieving. She very much enjoys the victories of her disciples, and this motivates her even more than her personal achievements. Her disciples consider her to be a very kind person named Anna. As I train 5-year-old children, it is very difficult for him to address me Anna Viktorovna, which is the formal way. When he says my name, he forgets what he actually wanted to say. For this reason, working with such a mature group minimizes their contact, meaning it is easier for them to adapt as they did not come to some Auntie Anna Viktorovna. It is much easier for them to just call me Anna. This is not a principle for me, and I am not against this. In such comfortable conditions, new young roller sports stars are peering onto the scene, coming to the fore. Today, 9-year-old Serhiy Bahri is winner at major international competitions that were recently held in Poland. Once I went with my father to the Dream Town shopping mall in Kyiv. I wanted to skate. But at that moment, I had to go train with Anna Muzyka, and later I all of a sudden signed up and did not even realize it. But I started training. Then I trained, and they bought me a pair of rollers. Then I started fitness trainings for the first time, and here I am today.
Был на фитнесах, конечно, первый раз. Ну вот.
I love skating on rollers because rollers are my life. Many of Anna's disciples consider her a vivid example of a person who trains them and wins together with them. In her childhood, she considered German speed skaters to be the best and classic examples in the world to follow in this fast and precise winter sport. When I was a child, I remember such a speed skating champion named Claudia Bechstein. This was when I was in school. Now I cannot talk about my idols because I've simply reached such a level that I greet world and European champions and communicate with them, and they recognize you.
Чемпионами мира, с чемпионами Европы, ты приходишь, здороваешься, общаешься, тебя знают, и когда ты уже...
And at that or another moment, when you notice there are tactical errors in the technical elements of races, it is quite difficult to talk about some idols at this level. Anna Muzyka takes into account any details in her disciples' education. Children are quick learners, so it's necessary to take into account this even includes clothing lessons in the clothing lessons in the club on the compulsory makeup. When I am barefaced, children are surprised what happened to me. I answered that I just overslept or something like that, but the children are still surprised. There was a situation when I had to wear a jumpsuit that was presented to me. Then the children asked me why I was wearing an enemy uniform. That is, it's such a matter of habit because children feel and absorb everything. For this reason, even when you sometimes put on a torn suit, you understand it is better to sew it so that the children don't ask me, Anya, why are you wearing a uniform of the enemy? This Ukrainian athlete with such a musical name is not fond of music, except in cases when she wants to stay alone and put on a set of headphones and to listen to her favorite music. Everything depends on the mood. I like to listen to our Ukrainian music as the mood takes me. If I participate in races, I listen to disco music with drums to cheer up, so everything depends on my mood. The mood defines her performance at the competitions. There are many awards, cups, wins, and titles in the collection of Anna Muzyka, but she still has many peaks in roller and speed skating sports to conquer. Not victories, but poor performances make her move to these peaks. Victories calm you down, and you find yourself in the comfort zone. You feel a kind of ideal that you achieved everything, but you come to understanding that there is something to strive for. I mean, my failures, such as 4th place at the Universiade. Now I want to try myself at the Olympics. I think that failures organize and force a true athlete to move ahead. Ukrainian speed skating mostly depends on Anna's moving towards the Olympics. Of course, it's difficult to expect glorification in this sport without good infrastructure, but in the case of positive results, this infrastructure may appear, and Anna Muzyka will do everything it takes in order that her favorite sport of speed skating continues to develop and become more popular in Ukraine.